You have a return trip airline ticket to go back home, but that's just a fake. You paid for it, but you don't plan on going back until at least you deliver the baby. And so, and then once the baby's delivered, the baby's a U.S. citizen. And so you make sure you book it so that you're going back about 3 to 4 weeks before you're supposed to have the baby back to your home country, right? But again, the scam, this anchor baby scam, is to get here, and then you have birthright citizenship for your child. And of course, the argument goes, you'll have to be here to raise that child. And once you're here, once you deliver that baby here, the other scam is what migrant women are doing, is they just get here to the country and then go to the hotels and let's just say have lots of activity. And then next thing you know, bam, 9 months later, here comes a baby, anchor baby, born in America. And what it means, citizenship for your child, 21 years of taxpayers paying welfare, food stamps, housing, emergency vouchers, Similac to feed your baby, free medical care, you name it, free, free, free. I want you to listen to this, folks. This is a television report. We never really get a chance to see the scam the way it happens. This woman, I believe, is in England, and she's pregnant. I didn't even know the airlines have a policy that you have to notify them once you are at a certain stage of your pregnancy. You're not supposed to fly at a certain stage. I didn't know that. And so the woman is trying to travel here, but she did not notify the officials that she was pregnant. So she shows up at the airport. They refer her back to the U.S. Embassy. The embassy doesn't approve it, and she's rejected. I want you to listen to this carefully because it explains the scam all across the country of anchor babies.
No, please don't beg me. She's in an advanced state of pregnancy. It's quite common for pregnant ladies to travel overseas so that they can have the baby in whichever country to automatically get that passport. What's your final destination today?
No, today.
Today?
Today in London.
Okay.
But I'm going to the US tomorrow.
You're going to the US tomorrow, okay. When you went for your American visa, did you tell the visa officer that you were pregnant? You did? No. Okay. Is there any reason why you didn't tell the visa officer that you were pregnant?
It didn't come up.
It didn't come up. Okay, what I'm going to do is...
The woman is only 7 weeks away from giving birth, yet has decided to visit her sister in America, claiming she will return 3 weeks before her due
It says
date.
that you're fit to travel. Babies born in the UK don't automatically qualify for a British passport, but babies born in the US do automatically qualify for an American passport. So it's quite common for pregnant ladies to travel overseas so that they can have the baby in whichever country to automatically get that passport.
Sarah is suspicious of the woman's motive for travelling to the US via the UK, but she could also be in breach of airline regulations for travelling whilst pregnant.
When is she due?
5th of June.
When is her return?
16th of May. So she's got 3 weeks between her return date and her due date, which makes her 37 weeks pregnant, which is over every airline's limit.
The woman is in breach of the airline's policy, but as she has a valid US visa, Sarah must now contact the US Embassy.
Hi, it's Sarah. I'm at the airport at the moment. I just wondered if you could give a call to the American Embassy so that they can check an American visa for me. She's at the airport today and she's in an advanced state of pregnancy. So if you can just give them a call and find out if they're happy with that, and if so, then we can let her travel.
It's minutes before the flight leaves, but whether or not the pregnant woman will be on board is up to the US Embassy.
Right, okay. All right, I'll do that then. Okay, thanks very much. All right, thank you, bye-bye.
She's not good.
Okay, that was the American Embassy, and they want to speak to her today.
The flight will be leaving without the pregnant woman. Now Sarah must tell her the news.
So what I've done is I've contacted the visa man and explained your situation. What he'd like to do is, can you go back to the embassy here in Lagos, show him all this paperwork, and he'll want to speak to you. I'm sorry, I know it's frustrating, but if you can go back to him, because Madam,
I'm begging.
no, please don't beg me. Please don't beg me. No, Madam, please don't beg me.
People that are pregnant that do go and all that.
The pregnant woman did not make it to the USA. When she failed to turn up at the American embassy, her visa was cancelled.
And so, you see, that's why millions of us around the country voted for President Trump. The migrant situation, the situation with illegals, it's no longer a joke. You know, folks, I knew about the Anchor Baby scam. I knew what it was all about, but I had never understood this aspect of it. I've always seen it from the women getting here and then partying hard while they're here, ending up pregnant, and then bam, 9 months later, wham, wham, here comes the baby. And then here comes 21 years of welfare and everything else at the expense of taxpayers that comes with it. 800-848-9222. Dominic Carter in for Greg Kelly this afternoon. Great honor to be here with you on this summer day. The Trump administration not playing around. It's amazing to me. We have to have all these changes to the immigration system. No. All we needed to do was elect the correct man that was no longer joking around. That's all the country needed to really do. That's all the country really needed to do. Let's start with your telephone calls on this Thursday afternoon. Dominic Carter here with you in for Greg Kelly, Fort Lee, New Jersey. Vinny, line 2. Vinny, what's on your mind?
What's up, my pal? How you doing? I love your show, buddy.
Thank you. Very kind of you to say.
Great. Listen, I've been in the produce business for 45 years. I'm over in Hunts Point over here.
Oh, wow.
These women are coming here, and they're all pregnant now. Every one of them are pregnant.
So Vinny,
There's tons of them come here.
So Vinny, you're in Hunts Point. One, I want to ask you this question. I used to be over there sometime, and I remember when it was Spofford over there. It's no longer there, the Juvenile Detention Center, I believe. But has Hunts Point,
Spofford, right?
Has Hunts Point been cleaned up? It was really bad at one point.
Well, Giuliani cleaned it up in the 80s. Thank God for him.
Correct. I mean, the prostitution was rampant in Hunts Point.
Oh my God. Forget it.
So is it still clean? Is it still cleaned up? Is it still cleaned up?
You know what? It's not as good as it used to be. It's getting back to where it was.
Wow.
There's drug dealers around all the corners. I see it. There's people sitting in their cars on the corner. They pay the cops off. I see it. I'm looking at it.
So, Vinny,
it's amazing.
When you say that all the women are pregnant, are you referring to migrant women?
Migrant women. They come. They got brand new vehicles. They pay with government credit cards. I see it. They pay for the product. They all pay with cash. They got loads of cash on them. I don't know.
And so we have American mothers starving, trying to do the best they can with their families. And you're telling me that these migrant women are pimping the system, doing what they're doing. And so, Vinny, before I let you go, the fact that you say they're all pregnant, what does that say to you?
I don't know. I guess they think they're going to stay here.
Right.
That's what tells me that we're going to be paying for these kids. They don't even know who their fathers are, probably. That's another thing. Who knows what's going on with that? And those kids are going to have no life here, first of all, which is totally ridiculous.
Absolutely.
And how they get away with this? I don't know how they're getting away with this.
It's called the Biden administration. Vinny, thank you for the wonderful call. Vinny calling from Fort Lee, New Jersey. Dominic Carter in this afternoon for Greg Kelly. Time for a break. We're coming right back with more of your telephone calls.
Greg Kelly.
And Dominic Carter in for Greg Kelly, who has the day off. We are talking right now about the scam of Anchor Babies. I knew it was a scam from day one. It's a scam now. And it's two ways that I know how women carry it out. One, you get here to America as a migrant, and then you party hardy, and you end up pregnant, and 9 months later, out comes the baby and birthright citizenship. 21 years of welfare, food stamps, housing, medical care, and maybe if the child goes to college, even more at the taxpayer's dime. The other way that many women around the world are carrying this out is, and I just found out from watching this, and I think it's from the BBC, this piece that's online, and I didn't even know that airlines had a policy that once you reach a certain point with your pregnancy, you're not supposed to travel. But in the piece that we aired here in the Greg Kelly Show a little while ago, this woman trying to get here, you purchase a round-trip ticket where it looks like you're going back home in time to deliver your baby. But guess what? Once you get here, you extend your stay. That baby drops here in America. Birthright citizenship. 21 years, taxpayers. Let's go to Indiana, line 2, and Patrick. Patrick, what's on your mind?
Yes, this whole citizenship thing, birthright citizenship, it started in 1898 when Judge Horace Gray said that one Kim Ark was a citizen. He had been here in America with his parents who were never American citizens. They never applied for American citizenship.
Okay, so Patrick, how does that apply to 2025?
Okay, it applies because Horace Gray declared that Kim Ark was a citizen of the United States, and he even went back.
Okay, hey,
China.
Patrick, I'm not big on history lessons. So what's the point as it relates to the current day and time? President Trump says that birthright citizenship needs to go. I agree with him 1,000%. What is your position?
I do too. What everybody overlooks, what the Democrats want you to overlook, is the 14th Amendment starts out, all citizens born, that means the children of slaves, ex-slaves, were born here in the United States. So all children born. But then there's another clause that everybody overlooks. Right after that, it says, or naturalized. And naturalized is somebody else besides born here. And they overlook that, and they say that, naturalized means nothing, and that
I hear you, Patrick. You're saying selective memory as it relates to the law, the Constitution, and so on. Thank you for the call, Patrick. Indiana, here on the Greg Kelly Show. Dominic Carter filling in. Let's go to line 5. Paul, Long Island. What's on your mind, Paul?
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for taking my call. Do a great job.
Thank
for
you.
everything you do.
Thank you.
You were talking. You're welcome. No problem. Thank you. You deserve it. The guy Vinny before, you asked him, what does that mean when he sees all this happen? They're paying in cash. They're all pregnant. Blah blah blah. He said he doesn't know, but he said he thinks it's because they think they're going to be staying here. Well, if you do the math, in 3 years, that might turn out to be 15 million today, 45 million in 3 years.
When you say 45 million, you mean women coming here to drop their babies in terms of delivering them? Well,
Yes.
but you know what, Paul? I would have said that your pessimism, I would have said that's correct, but we've got a new president, and our president, thank God, is not joking. He is not playing around, President Trump. Even the illegals knew, and you've got 1 million of them that were here, and they have already decided to self-deport. You go, President Trump. We are coming right back. We are talking about the scam of anchor babies, and I'm going to always call things exactly for what they are because that's what it is. Oh, Dominic, we should be sympathetic. Poor little children coming to America. Yes, poor little children. But what about the scam that mommy's pulling where taxpayers are on the hook for 21 years? Your country's not going to pay for it. Why should ours? Why should you be allowed to come here illegally, get pregnant, party to get pregnant, drop your baby here, Then, look at my baby. My baby's an American citizen. Oops. I have to be here to raise my child. It's all a scam. But times are a-changing. Thanks to the Trump administration. Thanks to President Trump. In Tennessee, they're changing the law where it is a crime if you even house an illegal. That means a church, right? That means citizens. If you even house an illegal, in Tennessee, it is a violation of the law. Over 1 million illegals have self-deported. Now, could you imagine if Biden, this is what I was thinking about on the way in, if he had tried this a serious plan, and why didn't he? Why didn't he turn up the heat to say, you can get with this or you can get with that? Meaning, just like Trump did, that's what Trump is essentially stating, folks. You can get with this or you can get with that. In one corner, you can go home on your own. You can apply to come back. We'll give you $1,000 check to leave, and you have the opportunity to come back to America if you do it the right way. If you do it the other way, option number 2, well, let's let White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller go down the litany of what happens if they have to come get you.
Under Trump, all job gains have gone to Americans. Looking at labor force data, we believe there's over in self-deportations. Wow. So we are well on our way here. If we stay the course, Jesse, and if illegal aliens understand the consequences of staying versus the opportunities of leaving, we're going to see millions and millions more self-deportations. Because if you stay, here's the consequences. You face sudden arrest, sudden deportation, you face the potential garnishment of all of your income, all of your wages, the loss of your property, incarceration and imprisonment for immigration and other crimes. If you choose to self-deport, you can go back home. You do have the opportunity to apply for legal entry if you wish to do so in the future, and you're going to get a $1,000 check on your way out. So this is a very clear choice, and we're seeing over 1 million legal aliens are clearly choosing just to go back to their countries.
And that's the way to go. Leave. And not to say that you won't be welcomed later, but this has to be done the right way, the correct way. There's a fair system. You can't jump the line. I'm looking at my Twitter, my ex, Dominic Carter, here with you folks. Normally you hear the voice of Greg Kelly. I'm in today for Greg. Greg has the day off. I'm looking at my Twitter at my ex, at Dominic TV. At Dominic TV. You can follow me there. You can post a comment. I may use it live right now during the Greg Kelly show from around the country.
How do I work so hard to have somebody who comes to this country, not long, no credit, and he shows me paperwork where they'll be funding him money?
That's a horrible situation, the reality that many people around the country, unfortunately, are facing. Dominic Carter in for Greg Kelly today. Let's go to line 5, back to your calls. Josie, Staten Island, what's on your mind?
Hey, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
So I have a question, Josie. How are you staying cool in this weather?
I'm indoors with an air conditioner.
You're indoors with the AC, you said?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
that's the way.
I'm not able to walk, so I'm sort of like handicapped. So
okay.
I'm indoors.
Okay, what's on your mind?
Right. Okay, getting back to the illegal, the anchor babies. I watched a program a while ago, and they stated, I don't know if you saw this or not, they stated that if you're on a plane and you're flying over the United States, that baby's a citizen.
I've never heard that. No, I've never heard that. I know that the child has to be born in America.
Yeah, no, on the plane and giving birth on the plane over America, U.S. land.
Well, that I guess technically that child is born in the United States if you're over U.S. land. Why you didn't say the first time that the woman was delivering?
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sorry. Yes, no, but that's what they had in there. But I mean, on a plane,
right?
On a plane, and you're not even on the ground.
I hear you.
I don't want.
So, Josie, as a woman,
Yeah.
How does it make you feel, this scam that these migrant women, that these illegals that they're running? How does it make you feel?
I feel awful about this. I really do. I don't know what's happening to America. I'm scared. I'm scared of all the things that are going on. I am scared. I don't know. Things are getting out of hand here. Really.
Do you think?
One thing after another.
But it seems that President Trump is throwing all of this in deep check. Would you agree with that?
Love the man, yes, all the way.
Absolutely.
Love the man, all the way.
Well, Josie,
Got my vote over and over and over.
There you go. I want you to stay cool in this hot weather.
Yes, I will.
And remember, Josie, each day is a blessing. Thank you for the wonderful.
Dominic, one more thing.
Yes.
You make me laugh when you tell me you're going to bang your head on the desk.
Oh, sometimes Jonas inside the control room just laughed too. Yeah, sometimes, Josie, I have to be honest with you. Sometimes I get these crazy calls. And so like I had one last night. We were talking about some issues. And the guy calls up from Mineola, Adam, and he goes, this is how he starts the call. He goes, Dominic, Trump is a convicted felon. This is how he starts the call. We were talking about issues. I don't see, except for Trump haters, in which Trump was railroaded in all of those cases, I don't see anybody talking about that. So that was a clear time where I wanted to bang my head on the table. Literally to bang my head on the table. So,
I know, I love when
so thank you, Josie. And they sometimes they keep aspirin inside, pampering, all types of things for me because pampering is the one that the men don't take, right? That's the one the men don't take, pampering. Okay, well I take it all, Josie. I take it all. You don't care. Thank you. Yeah, I don't care, Josie. Thank you. But now it's wonderful calls like you, Josie, that make my day. It's the nutty calls. And I don't know what it is with my nut magnet, but it's like the nuts are like, let's call him and let's think that we're making perfect sense and let's have him bang his head on the table. Dominic Carter here with you. The White House, Carolyn Levitt, the press secretary, is holding a news conference as we speak. We're waiting to see if she says anything about the Epstein case or anything relevant to what's going on in the world today. So we're monitoring that, and we may be dipping in and out of that. Let's go to line 3. Mike here on the Greg Kelly Show. Dominic Carter filling in. Mike in Westchester. Mike, what's on your mind?
Hey, Dom. I'd just like to inject other possible outcomes for that birthright citizenship vehicle.
Okay.
So individuals who gain that citizenship right for their offspring can also sell that citizenship for financial gain on the black market. Or a nation state could have actors send numerous women to the United States with intent to give birth to the United States. So since infants don't have fingerprints at birth, that citizenship is fungible. It can be given to anyone who was born in that foreign country who is roughly the proper age, and that citizen can come back 20 years later with unquestioned access. And there's really no way to back-check that ID because we rely on these foreign nation states to validate and back-check that legitimacy.
We do rely on these foreign nations. But, Mike, do you know of examples where this has actually happened?
I can't cite a personal knowledge of a particular example. I'm sure the government is aware of it, but I think you could look back to after the Beirut Marine barracks bombing in 1983, when the U.S. opened its doors to a lot of refugees, that there were a lot of people coming into places, and it became a whole system where they would bring in people from these countries, have the child here, then go back to the country with the child.
Right.
And then it opens up that door, and
right.
It's a huge security vulnerability. I'm not a fear monger, but I think we have to be aware of that.
I got you, Mike. Thank you for the wonderful call. Thank you for raising the red flag. Dominic Carter in for Greg Kelly. We're coming right back.
Greg Kelly.
Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Listen to this podcast now
On the Red Apple Podcast Network. Building bridges, that which unites us. A thought-provoking new podcast podcast series hosted by Michael Hirschman, CEO of Soloviev Group.
I'm Michael Hirschman. Join me as I tackle vital national topics that affect the man on the street to the executive suite with unscripted, authentic perspectives that spark in-depth discussions with experts in the field.
Go to buildingbridges.nyc to watch episodes or download wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/deal. That's leaffilter.com/deal.
I'm Ultima Morgan. Every year, almost 30,000 babies in America are born with birth injuries. It's every parent's worst nightmare. If your child suffered a birth injury, please call our firm to find out if we can help.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
It's Eric Comfort Shoes Summer Sale. Over 60 brands, sizes 4 to 16, narrow to extra wide. All SAS and Aura sandals up to 60% off. Hoka, New Balance, Brooks, SAS, Aura, and Echo. Summer styles just arrived. 426 Hillside Avenue, Williston Park, exit 37 off the LIE. EricComfortShoes.com. There's something happening in St. Petersburg, Florida, and resort living could be yours with 361 days of sunshine when you live at the residences at 400 Central in St. Petersburg, Florida. Opening this fall. Call 727-205-8517. That's 727-205-8517. The residences at 400 Central in St. Petersburg, Florida. Go to 400central.com. That's the number 400central.com.
Hello, this is John Catsimatidis. Advertising here on WABC is just common sense. Nielsen has said that WABC is one of the leading AM stations in the country. Tell me what we can help you with. Increase your business at reasonable rates cross-country. Email me at cats@wabcradio.com, and I will get back to you and tell you the great deal that you can get on WABC. Email me at cats@wabcradio.com.
Shriners Children's has helped more than 1.5 million patients receive the most amazing care anywhere. You can help provide life-changing care for children by calling 1-800-276-8007. That's 1-800-276-8007. Or visit loveshriners.org to give. The views and opinions expressed by the individual hosts and their guests do not necessarily reflect the policies or positions of WABC Radio, its management, or its sponsors.
You're listening to The Greg Kelly Show.
And Dominic Carter here with you folks on this lovely Thursday afternoon in for Greg Kelly. We're going to take you now live to the White House. White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt addressing President Trump's health. You may have seen the video where the camera zoomed in on the president's hand and there was apparently some bruising. Well, Caroline Leavitt just announced, and think about this, folks, the bruising was from all the handshakes that President Trump does in a day. Think about that for a second. Let's go live now to the White House.
The president is referring to the fact that Democrats have now seized on this as if they ever wanted transparency when it comes to Jeffrey Epstein, which is an asinine suggestion for any Democrat to make. The Democrats had control of this building, the White House, for 4 years, and they didn't do a dang thing when it came to transparency in regards to Jeffrey Epstein and his heinous crimes. It was this president who directed the Department of Justice and the Attorney General to do an exhaustive review of all files related to Jeffrey Epstein, which they did. The Attorney General and the FBI, led by Pam Bondi, Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, these are great patriots, some of the most trusted voices in the Republican Party movement. It's part of the reason the president appointed them to these high law enforcement positions. And they spent many months going through all of the files related to Jeffrey Epstein, and they concluded what they found in that memo, which they drafted and they released. And so the president has been transparent. He has followed through on his promises to the American people, but he doesn't like to see Democrats and the mainstream media covering this like it's the biggest story that the American people care about. The president has been working so hard this week. On Tuesday, he went to Pennsylvania, where he secured $90 billion in investments for the Commonwealth, for the people of that state. After that, he came back to the Oval Office at 8 p.m. He went in there to whip votes to get the Genius Act signed into law. And because of his efforts, that bill is now going to be signed and passed. The following day, yesterday, he meets with a foreign leader, the King of Bahrain, to secure more investments into this country. And then yesterday afternoon, the president is in the East Room of the White House mourning with parents who have lost their children because of fentanyl, signing a bipartisan piece of legislation. And not a single cable network in this country took that event live and covered that event like they should. Those are the issues the president cares about. What could be more important to the American people than helping families who have lost their children? Those are the issues this president is going to remain focused on.
I understand he wants to move on from the story, but you do have some prominent figures, including the Senate Majority Leader, the House Speaker, voicing support for the files to come out. Representative Massey collecting signatures that would force a discharge petition for a vote on the floor for this. It doesn't seem to be going away. What is stopping the administration from just redacting any sensitive information, grand jury information, and putting out what is appropriate so that the American people can decide and then let this story die?
Well, in terms of redactions or grand jury seals, those are questions for the Department of Justice. Those are also questions for the judges who have that information under a seal. And that would have to be requested, and a judge would have to approve it. That's out of the president's control. He has said, in agreement with some of the leaders on Capitol Hill, that if the Attorney General and the Department of Justice come across any other credible evidence, they should provide that to the American people. The president has said that, and he agrees with them on that.
Why did you fire Maureen Comey?
The Department of Justice did, and I would defer you to them. Dasha.
Has the White House been directly in touch with some of the MAGA influencers that are still not satisfied with the administration's handling? And has the message to them been similar to what the president has said, which is sort of either let this go or we don't need your support?
Well, look, the president and this team are always in contact with the president's supporters, with voices of many kinds on both sides of the aisle. I think that's part of the reason this president is a great president, because he's willing to listen and hear other people's perspectives. But ultimately, he has led this country, not just over the past 6 months to historic success, but also through his first 4 years as president. And as the leader and the creator of the MAGA movement, he has led through these perilous times for our country based on instinct and in the best interest of the country. And as I always say, the American people should trust in President Trump.
John,
go ahead, John.
Thanks a lot, Caroline. The president on Monday announced that if there's not compliance with Russia within 50 days, there would be increased tariffs. Can you explain how that works, first of all? What happens if Russia doesn't end its war with Ukraine in 50 days?
Well, in 50 days, as the president clearly laid out, if there is not a ceasefire agreement or a peace deal within that time frame, if Russia refuses 50 days, as the president clearly laid out, if there is not a ceasefire agreement.
And the White House Live, the Greg Kelly Show, Dominic Carter filling in, coming back. And Dominic Carter in for Greg Kelly. Greg has the day off. We're going to go back to your telephone calls, but I have a question that I want you to think about for a second here. I want you to ponder this. What do AOC, the former bartender, AOC, Bernie Sanders, and Mom Donnie, the Democratic nominee for mayor of New York City, what do those three have in common? AOC, every time I say her name, I want to go, wee. But AOC, Bernie Sanders, Mom Donnie, the Democratic nominee for mayor of New York City, what they have in common, believe it or not, and shockingly, they are the hottest Democrats in America. Congresswoman Haight, Jasmine Crockett, is a distant fourth, but she's up there too, right? Miss Haight herself. But AOC, Bernie Sanders, Mom Donnie, they are the top Democrats in America. The three of them are socialists. Mom Donnie has divided the National Party, those that are running from him like he has the plague or something terribly wrong with him, and those that want the party to go, as Beyonce would say, to the left, off the cliff, folks. They have basically anointed him Nelson Mandela. He's a rock star walking the streets of New York City, which shows you how lost and confused people can be. But if you're saying to yourself, well, that's just a race for mayor in New York City, think again. A socialist is coming to a community near you. A socialist is coming to a community near you. Minnesota. I don't know what's going on in Minnesota. I really don't. But they have a candidate for mayor of Minneapolis. His name is Omar Fatih. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Frankly, I really don't care. But he says, now this guy is a socialist. So it's not just Mamdani. This guy is running for mayor of Minneapolis. And he says the real threat to our country is white people. Think about that for a second. And he's already a state senator. How in the world is somebody like this elected to office? How in the world is somebody like Mamdani elected to the assembly? How does that happen? With his anti-Israel views, with his anti-police views, how does somebody like that get elected? I know how. You say the right things, you promise everything, you're a pretty boy, you got the right sound, you look good, you're even a wannabe rapper. You're not Jay-Z, but you're a wannabe rapper. And sadly, that's all it takes these days for the masses in urban America to think that you're cool, to vote for you. So I want you to listen to, no, it's just New York, Mamdani, it's only New York. No. What's going on in Minnesota? And in the next hour, we'll hear from Governor Dum Dum, the governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz. But this candidate for mayor of Minneapolis claims that the real threat, don't believe me, you're going to hear him say this, the real threat to our country happens to be white people.
We heard them being called terrorists. We heard them being called drug dealers. We heard a lot of insults. We heard that they're a threat to our national security. And that's a flat-out lie. You want to know who the real threat is, Madam President? I'll give you a hint. They don't look like our chief author. They don't look like the folks up in the gallery. They don't look like the folks out in the rotunda. They look like many of the members that sit in the front. And you don't have to take my word for it. According to DHS, Madam President, the greatest domestic threat facing the United States comes from, quote, racially or ethnically motivated violent extremists, specifically those who advocate for the superiority of the white race, not our immigrants. We are safer and we're better off because of them.
And so you just heard, and he's a candidate for mayor of Minneapolis. And so what's happening in many regards, this amounts to, what was that slogan, the Sarah Palin thing, putting lipstick on a pig, right? That's what this amounts to with Mamdani, Mr. A.K.A. Nelson Mandela. Putting lipstick on a pig, that's what Mamdani amounts to. This clown in Minneapolis, that's what it amounts to, putting lipstick on a pig. The real threat to our country is white people. No, the real threat to our country happens to be people like you that are not from America. You and your congresswoman, both of you, as far as I'm concerned, should be on the first train smoking back to Somalia. Since you love it so much, go back. Go back. So the romanticizing of Mamdani, a.k.a. Nelson Mandela. So he goes to Washington this week, meeting with House Democrats at the invitation of AOC, the dean of bartenders. He goes courtesy of AOC. And then you have like-minded Democrats that think the same way he does. Like, for example, Congresswoman Jayapal from Washington State. She meets with him, with Mom Donnie at the breakfast, and then the two of them, they come out and they're so impressed with each other. And they do a video, a social media video, the two of them.
Yeah, he's bringing the party together at this point.
Look, he's bringing anybody who can see the reality of the success of his candidacy and his campaign together. Anybody that's staying out at this point instead of endorsing this incredible dynamic leader is missing an opportunity.
Do you think he won over supporting out there
of the new members who were supporting him or on the fence?
Sorry, what was
that?
Do
you think he won over any members?
Oh, I think it's hard not to be won over because it's the combination of his authenticity, his smarts, and his commitment to lifting up working people and making life better for real folks that is really inspiring and not always easy to find, you know, and so I hope so, yeah.
So that was Jayapal praising this guy. He walks on water. Mr. Mamdani, a.k.a. the 2025 version of Nelson Mandela, who would be New York's first Muslim American mayor, New York's first Indian American mayor, the worst mayor ever of New York he would be. All of his policies are absolute garbage. No other way to say it. He has no way to pay for them, but he's scamming. And guess what? The voters of urban areas, they're going for the okie doke. They're going for the nonsense. I like the way he looks. He's so handsome. He's so handsome. I like the way he sounds. Wow. So Jayapal and Mandani, they made their little video. That was Jayapal of Washington State praising him. And they also made a video together.
All right, everyone, I am here with Zoran Mamdani, who is the leading candidate for mayor in New York City. He has so many incredible firsts, but the thing I love about Zoran is what he is doing to lift up working people. And Zoran, what can people do to help your campaign?
Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you to Congresswoman Jayapal for having supported this campaign, being a part of the story that brought us to this point. And if anyone wants to join our campaign, go to zoranfornyc.com/events. You will start to see canvases that you can join. You can also donate to us so we can take on Andrew Cuomo one more time.
Let's do it, everybody. New York City Mayor Zoran Mamdani.
Wow. I don't want to join your campaign. I don't want to give you a dime. I don't even want to look in your face. I'm trying to figure out. I know it was 130 degrees on primary day. I'm still trying to figure out how this clown won. Period. Him and his hateful father. How he won. And he's the Democratic nominee. It is absolutely amazing. So last hour here on the Greg Kelly Show, Dominic Carter filling in, we talked about anchor babies. I see we still have another call on anchor babies. So let's go to that before we move on. Line 3, Steve, Long Island. What's on your mind, Steve?
Hi, Dominic. Here's my question scenario. Excuse me. Puerto Rico and Guam, if you're born there, you're an American citizen. So I'm just wondering if the control of these pregnant women or whatever coming into those countries are being vetted as well. Because if you went to one of those places, they're not vetted, you have a child, now it's a U.S. citizen, now all you have to do is come to the States. So I just hope somebody's looking out for what's going on over there as well.
Well, I believe it's the same scrutiny for the most part as coming to the mainland, if you will, because you are correct, Steve. Once, if you're born there, you can just jump on a flight and just come to any state in the country. But this is why I say that Trump is the correct answer for this country at this time. This is why Trump will go down in history as one of the greatest presidents ever. Steve, I'll give you the final word before I move on.
Okay. Can I touch on
quickly, Mandani? Just quickly, please. Go ahead.
Okay. I don't live in New York City. However, oftentimes it's said that things are the way they are because they aren't bad enough. Perhaps if he gets elected, people will see what bad is, and then we can turn things around. Sometimes you have to hit bottom before you can start going up again.
Well, what you're describing, Steve, is what is often said of drug addicts, that they have to hit rock bottom and that they have to want to come back before they can actually succeed at their rehabilitation. I don't subscribe to that notion, Steve, because I don't know how much worse things can get or should get. Maybe that's the way I should put it. You have the homeless that are I don't know, Steve. I don't know. Maybe I'm just different. Maybe I'm special and not in a good way. Maybe I'm no, what I mean by that is I'm disgusted when I got to get on a subway car and there's generally speaking, a guy sitting in his own defecation, smelling awful and mumbling. I don't think it's humane to leave that individual there. I haven't been on the train out of disgust for the last 4 months because I don't want to see it. I don't want to walk through the subway station and have some clown that doesn't want to get a job playing some loud music in my ear for entertainment, and people are giving this person money. So you're encouraging them to continue with this. They don't want to get a job, or the ones that want to get on the train and quote unquote perform for you. Go perform on Broadway. If you think you got talent, go audition. Thank you for the call, Steve. Go audition for Broadway. I don't want to see your little 2-bit act. I just want to sit on the train in quiet, think about the show that I'm doing for the day, and leave it at that. I don't want to walk through the streets. I don't want to pay the McDonald's tax anymore, right? Yes, folks, I'm not supposed to be a McDonald's. Shut up, Jonas. Don't smile. I'm not supposed to be in McDonald's. But I don't want to pay the McDonald's tax. Look at this. I'm so wrapped up. I've gone past the time allotment and not even realized it. I'm going to tell you about the McDonald's tax when we come back. Dominic Carter in for Greg Kelly.
Greg Kelly.
And Dominic Carter with you folks this afternoon in for Greg Kelly. Greg has the day off. We are talking about the 3 top Democrats in America and what they have in common. AOC, the dean of bartenders. And that's an insult to bartenders. Bernie Sanders. Bernie, it's time to go sit down in Vermont, Mr. Millionaire himself. We're also talking about Mr. Mamdani, the next Nelson Mandela, New York's first Asian American, Indian American mayor, New York's first Muslim American mayor, if he has his way. If I have my way, it won't happen. It won't happen because this guy is selling you $1 in a dream, literally. 33-year-old assemblyman. He's so cute. I said, Jonas, I want to bang my head on this table, seriously, right about now. In the break, Jonas said I told on myself, and I did. The McDonald's tax. Here is the McDonald's tax. So never mind the fact that I'm old school, right? It took me a while to get from the subway token to a Metro card. It took me a while to go from the subway token to a Metro card. But now I'm on the Metro card, even though they got me, folks, because they say if you do 10 trips in 1 week, the rest of the week is free. But then there are all these rules and they got me. I didn't get my free card after 10 trips, right? But now the McDonald's tax. So I had to learn, Jonas. See, you guys with your short sleeve shirts on, showing those arms, you guys can go in there and just order from the computer at the self machine, and it's not a problem. But somebody like me, it takes forever for me to get my 20-piece chicken nugget, and sometimes I'm bad when I'm stressed out at work, and the Big Mac, right? And the fries, all the things. Dominic, there's nothing you can eat in McDonald's. That's my doctor's, right? Whatever. So here's the McDonald's tax. So you go into McDonald's, you pay via credit card. You don't have cash anymore. You better have cash because the homeless guy at the door that's opening the door for you, right? That talks to you every day, whether you want to talk to him or not, he talks to you every day. And you got to give him $1 or $2 for holding the door. And if you don't give him $1 or $2, if you don't pay the McDonald's tax on top of the tax, then he might give you a snide look. You know, it may not be too great. So that's what the McDonald's tax is. I may regret this, but let's go to line 3. Russ in White Plains. What's on your mind, Russ?
Well, hi, Dominic. I want to thank you for giving so much publicity to communism, because communism is now being normalized, and young people will wonder what's so taboo. And if they look closely, they'll know that the lies are being told about socialism. It's not Stalin, Mao, and Adolf. It's AOC, Mamdani, and an old man like Bernie Sanders.
You're only proving my point. The worst elements of America.
Who is that? Young people?
No, AOC, Bernie Sanders, and Mamdani.
Yeah, I think they're going to get a handle on the rents, and that'll create an influx of young people.
Right. A handle on the rents, right, Russ? A handle on the rents. Doesn't matter who's paying for it. Get a handle on the rents. Give them free. Give them everything. Just give it to them. Just give it to them. No, bye, Russ. Thank you for the call. Just give them everything. Just give it to them. Give it to them. You get one, and you get one. Dominic Carter in for Greg Kelly. And Dominic Carter in for Greg Kelly, who has the day off. So one of the big stories that we are following as of right now, it is breaking news. President Trump has had swelling in his lower legs evaluated. And the White House has announced that the President of the United States, President Trump, has something that's called chronic venous insufficiency. So we're trying to piece this all together. Chronic venous, that is, insufficiency. I'm speculating that has something to do with his veins in his legs, but we're trying to piece this all together. The White House just made the announcement a short time ago. So we're going to go back to your telephone calls right now. Dominic Carter in for Greg Kelly on this Thursday hot afternoon. I hope you folks are staying cool out there. And by focusing on Epstein, we're going to look at some of the things that we have not been talking about, that we should be talking about. But first, line 3, Renee in the Bronx, New York. Renee, what's on your mind?
My English is nice. I want to say this. Can I?
Yes, just go ahead, please.
Okay. I don't know why people call the last administration Democrat. Because for me, they know Democrat. They got 3 letters for me. Letter D, dishonest, disaster, and demon. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Renee. So Renee says the last administration doesn't understand why they call Democrats. He said the 3 Ds, dishonest. What were the other, Jonas? Disaster
and demons.
Okay. Well, lately, the way the Democratic Party is going, one could make a case that Renee is correct there. So in talking about Epstein, right? Epstein. It's the only thing, Epstein. One of the things that's not being discussed as of late, and the Trump administration is keeping on going and wonderful in a positive direction. We're looking at a situation where PBS and NPR is going to lose some funding. And guess what, folks? They should lose funding. If all you're doing is covering stories from the perspective of the left, you should not be funded by taxpayers. It really is that simple. I want you to listen to this. One of the senators from Missouri, his name Eric Schmidt, discussing NPR and PBS, that they're not neutral media outlets, and this is one of the things that just passed the Senate. And so we'll see what happens next, but NPR and PBS, they are looking at, as part of this president's deal, they will be losing funding.
While the actual American people are working long hours to afford groceries and gas, their government has been writing checks to left-wing propaganda outlets and spending billions overseas on countries that hate us. Enough is enough. This rescissions package is our opportunity to drain the swamp, not just in theory, but in practice. It claws back nearly $10 billion in spending, $9 billion, including billions for radical NGOs, hundreds of millions for foreign interests, and yes, the taxpayer funding that props up corrupt and ideologically captured institutions like NPR and PBS. And let's talk about that for just a minute, because no part of this debate has sparked more hysteria and more outrage from the left than defunding so-called public broadcasting. Why? Because they know exactly what's at stake. NPR and PBS are not neutral media outlets. They are the closest thing we've ever had in this country to Pravda. They are the arms of the left-wing activist class, taxpayer-funded platforms for political propaganda masquerading as journalism. Why are Americans being forced to subsidize institutions that hate them? Why are truck drivers in Missouri paying for Ivy League grads in D.C. to tell them they're bigots? Why are we as conservatives spending billions of dollars to left-wing radicals that want to run us out of the public square? There is no good answer to these questions. The fact is, we shouldn't be. And President Trump's rescission package is a huge first step towards ensuring that we never do it again.
And again, Senator Eric Schmidt of Missouri, and he's correct. Let's continue here on the Greg Kelly Show. Dominic Carter filling in today. Let's continue with your telephone calls now. Let's go to line 3. Frank in Bayville. Frank, what's on your mind?
Dominic, how are you today? Thank you for taking my call. Hey, I'm just curious. I think this is part of why the American people aren't quite giving up on Mr. Epstein. Have you seen his art collection? I'm talking about 2 famous paintings that was in his Manhattan house.
Okay, hey, Frank, wait, Frank, let me ask you a question. Do I seem like the type of guy that would give a what Mr. Epstein's art collection might be? Do I seem like that type of guy?
Considering how intelligent you are, I think you can see the dots to connect to make the big picture.
All right, so go ahead.
Okay, one of them is Mr. Bill Clinton, President Bill Clinton, in the famous Monica Lewinsky blue dress. He's wearing a blue dress in the chair with his legs crossed.
Okay, Frank, I don't need all the details. Can you get to the point? What's the point you're trying to make?
Well, the other famous painting is of President Bush, second Bush, where he's on the floor in the Oval Office in front of his desk, in front of 2 Jenga towers. You know, the Jenga game.
Frank, for the third time, what is the point you're trying to make?
The point is, this man had major connections behind the scenes, and so
you feel the need to describe. Wait, Frank, you feel the need to waste airtime describing his art to say he's connected to powerful people? We already know that.
Well, it's a little more than that. I mean, the painting of Bush was him holding a paper airplane with 2 Jenga towers crushed to the ground in front of it.
Frank, I don't understand why you're obsessed with this. So what? Who cares what his art is? We know that he knew powerful people. There's got to be a bigger point that you're trying to make. There has to be.
The point is, this guy has powerful people compromised, and they're going to do with what the handlers tell them to do.
Okay, fair enough. I don't understand, Frank, why we had to discuss his art. I don't see how that's relevant to anything. Let's go to Viviana, line 5 in Brooklyn. She wants to talk about the Mondani phenomenon. Viviana, is this a phenomenon at play here?
It's a phenomenon, but what I want to say is that it's a systematic chess game. But before my comments, can I also offer prayers for President Trump and his health, that we should all be praying for him and asking God to help him with this health issue. I was thinking about what is happening in the United States, as you do and many other commentators. It's like a systematic chess game. Let's put this person here, that person there, and then we'll keep on putting our followers underneath their administration. Soros Alex Soros gave him $24 million. I found out, and I've been doing a lot of research because I want to sound the alarm too, that the Muslim Brotherhood and CARE are also backing him. If it's the thing also is that they've been dominating here in New York City the education system, so they're preparing the young people to accept socialism.
Wait, when you said
wait,
Viviana, when you said they, I don't know who you define as they. That's a very broad term when you say they in the education system.
Okay,
and we got to move this along. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I got to go faster. The people who want, I say, there is a chess game to subvert our way of life and everything else. So you could say deep state or socialist, communist. They're all getting together, and they have already put one in Paterson, New Jersey, a mayor. They're planning a epic city in Josephine, Texas, where they're planning to put in a whole area of Muslim residents. And now Mandami is even saying, I want to abolish private property. So that means homeowners will be extinct. And if he's going to take the means of production, he's going to eliminate business owners. That's totally opposite to what the American dream and the American way is. And people must wake up and say no to Mandami.
Okay, but I have a broader question for you, Viviana, before I move on to other callers. You say people must wake up. Will they wake up? Be honest with me.
At this point, it's going to, I think you mentioned it one other time, it's going to be an act of God to have people to really snap out of this, because it's almost like he has that type of charisma that fools and deceives people.
He does. He does. So wait, Viviana, I want you to be honest with me with another thing, because it offends me to my core. Things from my perspective are so bad in New York City, and I'm a son of the city. I don't even enjoy coming to the city anymore. I enjoy sitting in my backyard, relaxing, looking at the deer, looking at the fat raccoons that terrorize my wife, and I laugh because they terrorize her, and she gets very mad. So some of you said to me on the radio that they don't like mint. And so every night she's putting mint mouthwash in the garbage. And then when we have like 1 million cameras at the house, because when you're in talk radio, there are a lot of nuts out here. So there are 1 million cameras that monitor everything near our property. And so the moment that the raccoons walk up, they're on camera. I mean, these are not regular raccoons. These are like supersized, really, really big raccoons. But so I don't enjoy coming to the city anymore. And what I'm asking you is this, and this is the point that I feel that the broader community here on the radio does not understand. We could all talk till we're blue in the face. They're going to go vote for Mandani because they think he's the modern day Nelson Mandela. And he's selling them a bill of goods. And what I want to know, Viviana, is when it comes, I'm going to be blunt and direct with you, okay? When it comes to some in the Black and Latino communities, why is it so easy to fool us with absolute garbage, and then we go vote and total support for Democratic candidates? Why is it? I think about this sometimes, Viviana, in the shower. I really do. Sometimes I do my best thinking in the shower. And I don't understand why we just let people fool us. Democrats fool us time after time after time again. Can you help me with that? Understand that?
Well, I can try. I'm a daughter of the city. I'm Latina. And one of the things I have found is that people would rather idolize what they see. For example, a lot of pastors think about liberation theology, and they say, oh, this person is more favorable for this and for our way of thinking. And to me, the plantation of the Democratic Party has sold many a bill that cannot be paid. They promise more than they can ever deliver. And then they say, okay, suckers, I got you. Now I'm going to be doing what I want to do. So, yes, the people must divorce themselves from politicians that are following that type of philosophy, because they're just causing us to lose all the freedoms that these people came here for. Some people, they're dying to get into America. But now they say, well, we want all of your resources. We want your property. And we have to divorce ourselves from the present Democratic Party. Because there was a wonderful Democrat here in Bay Ridge, and I voted for him. I'm not voting for people because they're of a certain party. I'm trying to examine that person's character, their goals. Are they very similar to what I want? Are they according to the Constitution? Do they love America? Do they want the best for the city? That's why I don't want Cuomo. Cuomo just wants his popularity and his ego stroke.
And I hear you, Viviana, and thank you for helping me to try to understand. All these candidates have to do is say free, 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 and we just jump at it. Dominic Carter in for Greg Kelly. Time for a break. More of your telephone calls. We're going to go to Joanne, Long Island, a retired nurse, to comment on President Trump's new health condition. We're coming right back.
Greg Kelly, The Greg Kelly Show.
I just thought of a way to combine my MAGA hating and my work in the ER. MAGA supporters are like people who hold on to fireworks too long. You love it until it hurts you. Kind of like, how you love it until you can't retire until the age of 70. So see it in the ER, folks, when your fingers get blown off. Oh, have a good day.
That's a Colorado nurse, suggesting she will directly target us, Trump supporters, if you come to the emergency room that she works at. Disgusting. Dominic Carter in for Greg Kelly this afternoon. The White House announcing that President Trump had swelling in his lower legs. And let's go to line 4. Joanne calling in from Long Island, a retired nurse who wants to comment on the president's new health condition. Joanne, what do you know about this?
Good afternoon, Dominic. I'm honored to talk to you. You are one of my favorites.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
We're very close to home with chronic venous insufficiency because my husband was diagnosed with it about 4 years ago, and we manage it very well. It's really very manageable. It does not, impact seriously on your lifestyle. You have to see a vascular specialist and be diagnosed. And really what it is the veins return the blood to the heart. And being that the veins in the leg, being that we stand all the time, the veins are working against, gravity. And I'm sorry to get a little technical.
No, I appreciate it in this case.
But
Go ahead.
they are under a low pressure system, not like the arteries, which are thicker blood vessels, and under a high pressure system, namely the pumping of the heart. Venous return is veins are more responsive to gravity because we stand. So, but anyway, so swelling is really the first symptom, and veins also have valves in them, and the valves become a little bit defective, and they can't get that blood back up to the heart with the best efficiency. So there's kind of a stagnation of the venous blood, and thus swelling. But the treatments, first of all, they can be diagnosed with like an ultrasound and something called Doppler studies, which are checking all the pulses, in the legs. And treatment consists of avoiding prolonged standing, wearing compression stockings during the day to provide, to reduce the swelling. Sometimes the doctor might, if the ultrasound shows any propensity for blood clotting, the person might be put on a blood thinner, but they're not dangerous. People can live a good lifestyle.
So, Joanne, President Trump, obviously he has to travel the world, travel the country on his feet quite a bit. Do you think this means his new diagnosed condition, that he'll be forced to slow down a little bit?
I think as long as he does the things he's supposed to do, like if he's on the plane, he can elevate his legs. He should wear his stockings every single day, the compression stockings, keep his legs elevated. They usually tell people avoid crossing your legs and avoid prolonged standing. So it's not the best idea to stand and watch a 4-hour parade. You know what I mean? Like, it's better to not do that.
Well, Joanne, I want to thank you for updating us. Joanne's a retired nurse. The White House announcing the condition of President Trump just a short time ago. Dominic Carter here with you folks. Thanks, Joanne. And for Greg Kelly.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
And what an honor to be with you folks on this hot Thursday summer afternoon. Dominic Carter here. The number to reach us right now, 800-848-9222. Do you want to know an illustration of what is wrong with the Democrat Party? An illustration of exactly what's wrong with Democrats and why they may not be winning national elections for quite some time. Earlier today, Senator Cory Booker, boy, this guy never met a camera that he didn't love. Does he do anything else besides posture for the camera and talk to reporters? Well, Cory Booker of New Jersey had a meltdown earlier today. He and fellow Democrats stormed out of a Senate hearing to advance Trump nominee Emil Bove as a federal judge. This is one of Trump's attorneys. And the Democrats on the Senate panel, they were not happy at the way things were going. All of them got up and left.
Why are you doing this? This is outrageous.
This is a kangaroo court. That's what we have here,
This
Mr.
is
Chairman.
wrong. To violate your own rules without going by the mandates of the parliamentarian. This is unbelievable. There's a way to do this. If you want to force this through, if you want to ram this through, there's a way to do it in accordance to the rules as spelled out by the parliamentarian. It is simple. It is clear. There's a pathway to achieve what you're trying to achieve.
So all the Democrats on the panel, the Senate panel, got up and stormed out and left. Can anybody give me a call and tell me anything Cory Booker has done except for his, 16, 18-hour speech? Can anybody tell me anything he's done? From Cory Booker to Governor Dum Dum, Tim Walz. Kamala on her ticket. Tim Walz, this guy, I want you to listen to him here. He does a podcast. And you can't make this up. According to Walz, there is a lot of toxic behavior in, quote, young white men who voted for Trump. Huh? Listen for yourself.
In this election, in terms of Democrats losing men, particularly, not only white men, and we've always had, or at least in recent history, you have the issue with white men, but younger white men, younger Latino men, younger African American men, we have slipped there. Yeah. In some of these town halls, have you seen some of those folks come to your town halls? And tell me about some of the conversations you've had recently about that.
Yeah, they have. And I think, again, I've got a young one. My son was able to vote as an 18-year-old, and asked him about his take is, especially young white men, is he said, Dad, a lot of them aren't about the policies. They're about the thrill and the excitement, and Trump brings the circus type of thing, and that type of acknowledgement. Now, I think I would make the case there's a lot of toxicity in that. I think there's the Andrew Tates, there's some of that kind of stuff that gets in there.
So that's Governor Dum Dum, Kamala's running mate. By the way, I'm still stuck on that recent poll, and I hope it's so. I hope it's so. I pray it's so. That Kamala is the leading Democrat for the 2028 presidential race. Wow. Wow. Can you imagine that? Her prompter going down and as president of the United States, and she has to give a speech. Can you imagine that? Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, one person that's pretty accurate these days happens to be Congresswoman Nicole Malliotakis, sounding off on Mom Donnie, Mr. Modern Day Nelson Mandela, promising everything to everybody. He's going to change New York City. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. I picked up a New York Post article today. Wait until I break down, as it relates to law enforcement, some of the things that this guy wants to do. We already know that he wants to close Rikers Island, right, and go to smaller jails in each borough. But in doing so, that means that you'll have less inmates than what you currently have in Rikers right now. And what you have in Rikers right now are the worst of the worst. So if there's going to be less inmates locked up, what do you think that means for the streets of New York City? It means more crime. But Nicole Malliotakis, the congresswoman, says, hey, listen, this guy is not even a socialist. He's a straight-up communist.
I blame the New York City media for not exposing Mondani. He said that he wants to seize the means of production. That is literally a page out of the communist playbook of Karl Marx. He can identify as a socialist all he wants, but if you're quoting Karl Marx and you want to seize the means of production like they did in Venezuela and in Cuba and the Soviet Union, guess what? You're a communist. And we don't need that type of policy in New York or in this country for that matter. And, people all over the city fled socialism, fled communism, like my mother fled Cuba. And they have to wake up and recognize what they are trying to do in our country before it's too late.
But what we're up against is free, free, free. Remember, folks, many of us don't get to vote in the primary for New York City mayor. And this socialist thing, it's not just New York City. You have a candidate in Minneapolis running for mayor there. He's a socialist, and he blames white people for all the problems of the world. Dominic Carter here with you, folks, 800-848-9222. We're going to go to your telephone calls in just a second, but I want you to hear this. Cuomo on New York One acknowledging what all of us already knew. He ran a horrible campaign for mayor in the primary, but Cuomo, as we all know as well, is now stating, my bad, let me run again as an independent. I'll fix it this time, and I'm the only one, according to Cuomo, that can beat Mondani.
I did not run a good campaign. I admit it. And it was very uncharacteristic for me, because all my life, I'm too aggressive, too difficult, too hostile, he's so tough. And then I run a very non-aggressive campaign. Because in the campaign, all the geniuses said I was way ahead for the entire campaign. So the campaign played it safe. And I didn't...
You took some pretty hard shots at Zoran Mamdani in particular. I mean...
Well, really only in the debates. Right.
Well, that's, I think we're up to 500,000 people who watched that debate.
Yeah, but besides the debates, there wasn't an aggressive campaign. Mm-hmm. And that was a mistake. And playing it safe was a mistake. And again, uncharacteristic. But, it was more, here are the problems. Let's talk about the problems. Affordability, public safety. Here's how I'm going to fix the problems. But there was no inspiration to it. There wasn't enough positivity to it. Mm-hmm. But it was just, the campaign itself was just not good. Not good in affirming, in aggressively communicating the affirmative, or frankly, in debunking the simplicity of his solutions. 3-word solutions are great on social media. Yeah, except in reality, they're all BS.
So translation, what Cuomo just said. And by the way, I'm looking at my Twitter at my ex, the lovely Debbie Lebedo, just sent us a nice picture. I just retweeted it. Looking all cute and things there. I know your husband likes this photo, Debbie. She's got her shades on. She's got her earphones on. And she says, Dominic TV, listening on the beach. We hope that you're having wonderful time at the beach. Regard to you, Debbie, and to your husband. So translation, what Cuomo just said, I'm going to break it down for you folks. What he just said is, I ran a rose garden strategy, meaning that I thought I was so far ahead, I ignored my challengers, and I did so at my own peril because I thought that Mondami could never beat me, and so I didn't pay attention to any of his policies. And he's saying again, my bad to the voters. I'm disgusted that he apologized to the people that voted for him, but he hasn't apologized for the COVID families, to the COVID families. You know, whether you feel you did wrong or not, Governor, the families blame you. Why not issue them a heartfelt apology? You're apologizing for losing the election, but you're not apologizing for that. Let's go to your telephone calls. Let's begin with Pamela, line 3 in New Jersey. Pamela, what's on your mind?
Well, good afternoon. I see Governor Walz has forgotten that it was his racist, violent talk that encouraged those poor couples to be shot through their door by that person. How quickly we forget.
It's amazing. It's amazing how in modern day politics, Pamela, such a short memory. The news cycle is here and gone tomorrow, and the politicians take advantage of that. Not just that. I mean, with his wife in the presidential campaign talking about they opened the windows so they could hear the burning from the rioting. They wanted to smell it. Pamela, who says something like that?
Robert Duvall, when he said, I love the smell of napalm in the morning. That's the only other place I've heard it.
Fair enough. Pamela, thank you for the wonderful call. Let's go to line 2. George, Long Island. George, what's on your mind?
Dominic, you know the game for 40 years, and there's a good chance Mondani is going to win. But it's not the end of the world. Like in sports, you play preventive defense. The first year or so, he can be tied up on a lot of things he can't do, and he can be tied up in court. It's important that we coalesce around a strong governor candidate to take over if they can win. Because the governor, thanks to Cuomo, which he did a couple of good things, he gave a lot of power to the governor. And if we get somebody like Stefanik in, he can really, he or she, whoever that governor is, if they're a strong Republican governor, I believe can control a lot of the stuff Mondani wants to do.
Okay, now wait. Now, George, you're making a huge assumption that a Republican will win the governor's chair. But let's
hoping.
But let's play along. Stefanik would be bold enough to do it, but you really think that there's going to be even a Republican governor that would remove or keep in deep check the city's first Muslim mayor, the city's first Indian American mayor? It would be very hard to do so.
I don't think he or she will remove him, but he or she can take action, could bring him to court and really tie him up. That's my belief.
Fair enough, George. Thank you. And so throughout the course of this hour, I picked up the Post today. And so Mondami, this guy is slick as slick. I'm gonna save it because until we come back, the way he's changing his tune, this guy is as anti-police gets. But now he's up within a heartbeat of becoming mayor. More of your telephone calls when we come back.
It's Dominic Carter.
And we are back. If you don't believe President Trump is delivering for the American people, it doesn't get better than this. Listen to this father talking about his deceased son and the assistance from the President of the United States of America.
I would just like to say thank you, Mr. President, for stopping the border crossings. Full stop, mic drop. I'll step back but it was amazing what you did. We were being gaslit, and you came and lit a fire to that story, and we're a lot safer for it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And that father lost his son to the fentanyl crisis. Back to your telephone calls on this Thursday afternoon. Let's go to line 4. William, upstate New York. What's on your mind, William?
Yeah, hey, Dominic. Sorry, I'm going back to the mayoral race issue. I'm thinking, why doesn't the Republican Party get their act together and get a new, fresh candidate instead of Curtis? We had Curtis, as Trump said, every 4 years. I think the party needs a new face. Maybe then we will get a chance to beat this socialist, anti-Semitic Zoran.
Well, the only thing I can say as it relates to your comment, Mr. Sliwa, when you look at the voting base of New York City, we know that it's roughly, 40% of color, meaning black and Latino. And I can only tell you this, William, if Mr. Sliwa had a D behind his name and had won the nomination, he would be the next mayor of New York City at this point, hands down. What I'm trying to say is, I don't think you're going to find a Republican candidate who has as strong a relationship with the black community, with the Latino community, as Curtis Sliwa does. I mean, I don't know, William, what type of candidate you're looking for on the Republican side to run in a blue city. Is there anybody that comes to your head, to your thought process?
Not really, actually, but the party has to figure that out. But we need someone fresh, I feel like. If we have a fresh candidate, there's a much bigger chance. We've seen Curtis with his red hat. People just look at him like the every 4-year candidate, you know? Like maybe at least Stefanik instead of the governor should become the mayor, something like that.
Well, thank you for your call, William. But then you still have the problem of, and she's a rock star, at least Stefanik. But then you still have the problem of whether or not she can resonate with the voting blocks of New York City. And I would venture to say that there's no one that can connect or resonate better than Mr. Sliwa. And when he was with me the other day and this topic came up, he says, Dominic, I've only run for mayor one time before. Let's go to line 1. Mary, Long Island. What's on your mind, Mary?
Hi, Dominic. How are you?
Hi, Mary. How are you?
Good. You're doing so well today.
Thank you.
I just want to say I think Long Island and upstate should just give up New York City, and we should just put a wall around it if this guy wins. I don't think we should have to suffer.
Well, okay, but New York City is the economic engine for the entire state. As a matter of fact, one can make a case for the country.
Yeah, but how many people really go out and vote? If it's so
therein
important
lies
to
the
everybody.
problem. Therein lies the problem, Mary. Therein lies the problem. And unfortunately, I don't have the answer. Go ahead, Mary.
I hope to, I'm sorry for the other caller, but I think Curtis earned his right to run, and I hope he runs every year. I hope he wins this year, but he earned it.
He did. He did put in the hard work. Mr. Sliwa did. Mary, thank you for the call. I want him to win. It's going to be very tough for him to win, but he's running his race, and we have to respect that. That is the bottom line. Dominic Carter here with you, 800-848-9222. More of your calls when we come back.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
And we will get back to the politics in just one moment. I want to focus for a second on this, just for a second. So I'm a fan of Costco, right? I go in there, go to buy one item, end up spending $400. You know how it goes, folks, when you go in these big discount stores. But there are some discounts, and I guess, you can get the chickens, I think $5 or $6 or $7, the rotisserie chicken and so on. And I got a bone, though. I've got a bone to pick with Costco. Oh, do I have a bone to pick with them? So I like coffee. Most of us do. So I come in here at work and, I often get a cup of coffee and I don't pay attention to the brand of coffee. I try to get decaf. I tried, Jonas, I can't go back to looking like young bucks like you and Philippe, with his Hawaii shirt on over there, and his beard, You guys with your shirts, we could see your buff arms, both of you, you know how it is. You know how it is. But anyway, so I like coffee. And in the household, Dunkin' Donuts decaf, right? Got to buy 1 million K-cups of Dunkin' Donuts decaf, right? So Costco's, I got a problem and a bone to pick with you. Did you guys know that some companies will license their name and you're not really buying their product? Did you guys know that?
I had no idea.
Philippe, did you know it?
No.
Okay. So you could go into Costco's right now thinking that you're purchasing Starbucks coffee. It has the labeling. It has everything Starbucks. But guess what? It's not Starbucks coffee. It's Nestle coffee when you look on the side of it. Did you guys know anything about this?
No, I had no idea. And as soon as I saw that cut, when I was rolling it, I sent the link to my wife right away, like, babe, nah. We gotta double check. Yeah, because we both my wife more so loves coffee, but I enjoy it too. So I was like, nah.
And so who knows to look to the side of the label, look all the way down and see that this is just licensing.
Right.
So you think you're purchasing Starbucks coffee, and you're not. It seems like to me like that should be illegal. It seems to me. But folks, I want you to listen to this. This is a podcast. The guy's name is Todd Hawkins, and he goes in Costco's to buy Starbucks coffee, and it's really Nestle coffee. Listen to this.
Hi, everybody. I am at Costco today, getting a bunch of stuff that I don't need, but I do need some coffee. So I'm looking at my choices. We have a Starbucks choice, right? Pike Place Market. Here's another Starbucks choice. Verona, Starbucks. But is it actually a Starbucks? No. It's actually Nestle's coffee using Starbucks trademark under license. Here's another one. Nestle using Starbucks trademark and the license. I am not buying Nestle's coffee with a Starbucks label on it. No, thank you.
So you go in, if it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a duck. No, it looks like it's Starbucks coffee, but it's really Nestle coffee. Are you guys okay with this, gentlemen?
I'm not cool with that. I want to know what I'm consuming. I don't want it to be some
and what you're paying for.
Exactly.
Right. That's deceitful.
It's pushing their product under false advertising.
Right.
And it's legal. So think about that the next time, folks. That's my beef with Costco. So they call it a licensing agreement. So amongst all this talk, and we see your calls, we're going to get right back to them. But all of this talk, Epstein. The stories that have been going by the wayside. The former First Lady Jill Biden's chief of staff is called to testify on what did he know and when did he know it about President Biden's mental decline, and he pleads the fifth. I want you to listen to the different ways that they tried to ask him a question, and no matter what they said, he pleaded the fifth.
Mr. Bernal, did you ever advise President Joe Biden to pardon his son, Hunter Biden?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
Thank you. We're going to go off the record real quick. Okay, we'll go back on the record. Mr. Bernal, was President Joe Biden fit to exercise the duties of the president?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
Let the record reflect that Mr. Bernal has invoked the Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination. Mr. Bernal, please be very clear. Are you declining to answer the question put to you solely on the ground that you believe the answer will incriminate you?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
Mr. Bernal, did any unelected official or family member of President Joe Biden execute the duties of the presidency?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
Let the record reflect that Mr. Bernal has invoked the Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination. Mr. Bernal, please be very clear. Are you declining to answer the question put to you solely on the ground that you believe the answer will incriminate you?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
Mr. Bernal, did President Joe Biden ever instruct you to lie regarding his health at any time, including but not limited in your testimony to Congress today?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
And so that's just one of the stories that has gone by the wayside with all of this talk of Epstein. Looking at my Twitter at my ex, Dominic TV, Fambrick says, walking the dog on this hot day and listening. And I see the earplugs in his ear. And you look great there, sir, with your shades on. Thank you for listening. Let's go back to your telephone calls. Line 4, Jeff, Freehold, New Jersey. Jeff, what's on your mind?
Hey, Dominic, just to let you know, if you go into a store like Lidl, a lot of their condiment-like products, a lot of their products are actually brand names, which they buy and slap their label on, and it's a lot less.
Well, now, what's the name of this store again?
Lidl.
Okay,
it's a European store.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, they're all over the place. But if you buy their large 99-cent ketchup, you can't tell me it's not Heinz.
Well, I know that sometimes these big companies they won't give the other company their name, but it's basically the same product. But I just think that it's really unfair that Costco's would sell coffee that says Starbucks coffee and it's really Nestle coffee. So am I the only one that didn't know this, Jeff? Is this common practice?
It's common practice, and I wouldn't doubt that if you go to Starbucks, Starbucks, and you think you're getting Starbucks coffee, you're getting Nestle's coffee.
Wow.
Yeah, well, yeah, so, any way to make it. And you say you buy the Costco chickens?
Yes. Wait, please don't tell me something about the chickens. Go ahead, the rotisserie chickens that are already cooked.
Common knowledge that they're pumped up with steroids to make them that big.
Oh. There goes. Well, maybe that explains why sometimes I didn't want to say it.
If you have a Wegmans near you, go to Wegmans.
Yeah, but the Wegmans is in New Jersey, and it's like 15, 20-minute drive, and
okay.
But so wait, Jeff. See, no wonder when I eat the rotisserie chickens from Costco, sometimes I get nauseous after eating them. Seriously.
But their hot dogs are a great deal, though.
Oh, so the hot dogs are good. How about the pizza? Things. I hope that my doctors are not listening.
I'm
Jeff,
a Brooklyn boy. God forbid I go to Costco for
So,
pizza.
Jeff, I really hope my doctors are not listening right now. Mr. Carter, there is nothing fast food that you can eat. You're only killing yourself. How many times this week, Mr. Carter, did you go to the gym? I didn't go to the gym any times, doctor. Thank you very much. Hey, Jeff, thank you for being a great sport. Oh, boy, so now I can't have the chicken. Oh. Let's go to line 1, Ralph in New Rochelle. Ralph, what's on your mind?
How are you, Mr. Carter?
Dominic,
I just want to let
please.
you know.
Thank you.
Dominic, yes, the Mr. Mondami that wants to do the government-run grocery stores.
Yes.
When I was younger, back in 1975, I had a chance to go to Poland, which was still under communist rule at the time. I got a visa to get in, to visit someone. And the stores there, they used to fly a red flag, which meant don't stand in line because there's nothing in the store. And if there was something in the store, they would put a green flag and you stood online. And hopefully you could get something if it didn't run out. So the government-run stores, I don't think it's really a good idea.
Wow. So it's yet another dollar. It's yet another dollar in the dream, Ralph. Correct?
And Mr. Carter, yeah, and in Poland at the time under the communists, they had a separate set of stores that if you had foreign currency, you could buy whatever you want.
Wow.
Because the Polish government wanted foreign currency. So if you had American dollars, British pounds, Swedish crowns, you can go into the store and buy whatever it is you want. But the Polish citizen using a Polish zloty, which was their currency, you were lucky if there was anything on the shelf.
So
that's what happens under communism.
So, Ralph, answer this for me. You don't get to vote in the election for New York City mayor, but what does your heart tell you? You may not have thought about it much, but what does your heart tell you in terms of who's going to win this thing?
I believe Mr. Mondami is going to win, and we're going to go back to the way it was under Mayor Dinkins, because I work in the city. And I remember when Mayor Dinkins was in office, New York City was a hellhole. Graffiti all over, crime all over. I'm sure he was trying his best, but, he was...
Please don't tell me 42nd Street will go back to the smut and all the porn and all that stuff.
That's what I think is going to happen. You see it now.
Wow.
It's going to be worse than it is now. That's what I believe. I don't think it's going to get any better under him. I think it's going to get worse.
Wow. Ralph, thank you.
My feeling.
Ralph calling from New Rochelle. Let's go to line 4. John, Long Island. John, what's on your mind?
Hey, Dominic, when it comes to coffee, a lot of products, they get private labeling done. And what happens, Nestle probably bid on a contract, and the coffee beans are roasted under a certain recipe that Starbucks wants, and they package it for them. And this is very common in the food industry. You can ask Dr. John Caspasides, he knows about that. A lot of these brands, they have a certain, like olive oil in general. Olive oil is not one; it doesn't come from one region; it comes from multiple regions. If you look at the back of the bottle, it may say packaging different oil from different regions. But they have a labeling on it, a particular brand, but the olive oil gets bought from all over different regions of the world, literally. Same thing with coffee. You have a coffee, it's roasted a certain way based on the recipe that Starbucks want, and Nestle packages it for them. No. It said the label says that is Nestle coffee, but it's a Starbucks label. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Starbucks wouldn't jeopardize their brand anyway. There's some kind of agreement where the coffee is roasted under their recipe formula, and Nestle follows it. But Nestle's got to put their label on, I guess for the sake of legal truth, label truth and stuff like that. But I would think personally, it's a good question, and John Caspasides, he's in the food business, he's pretty privy to that. But it's usually something like that where it has an arrangement. Nestle does the packaging, Nestle does the roasting, Nestle buys the beans from a certain source, and they do it for Starbucks because Starbucks can't handle that portion of the business too. I mean, they can't handle the Costco end of the market, which is a high demand, and stuff like that. So they have different companies roast and package the brands for them. Fair enough, John. Thank you for the wonderful call. But how about this, folks? If I'm paying for Starbucks coffee, I want to know, Jonas, that is Starbucks coffee. Is that too much to ask for?
No, I 100% agree. It got to be Starbucks all the way.
I don't care who roasted it, whose beans, whatever. If I'm paying Starbucks prices, have you been into Starbucks? We're up against a break. Have you seen the Starbucks prices lately? But we'll pick back up on this. Time for a break, folks. We are coming right back.
It's Dominic Carter.
It's time for the Tunnel to Towers Foundation Final Thoughts.
And the Tunnel to Towers Foundation final thoughts of the day. Yet another victory for the American people. President Trump has delivered. The White House has announced, or President Trump has said, that Coca-Cola, right? We were just talking about Costco's. Coca-Cola, the soft drink, will switch to use cane sugar in the U.S. So that's a more healthy choice, Jonas, I believe. Correct?
Yes, sir. Much better.
Much better.
It's still sugar, so you got to be careful, but at least it's natural.
Okay, at least it's natural. And this as the White House announced that President Trump had swelling in his lower legs, and he has a condition as it relates to that, and apparently everything's going to be okay. It just has to be treated. Let's go back to your telephone calls on this Thursday afternoon. And, folks, I'll be back at midnight. And tomorrow I'll be back in for Greg Kelly again from 1 to 3, and then back with you from 3 to 4. But let's go to Steve, line 2 in Brooklyn. Steve, what's on your mind?
Dominic, more food disillusionment. Butter popcorn without an ED. To butter is a verb. That means to spread butter. But butter popcorn without the ED has no butter in it whatsoever. It's chemical flavoring. All beef franks. All beef franks. That's a legal term. It means it has a minimum of 90% beef in it, and it means it can have other additives by law. Wait, Steve. Even the Hebrew National hot dogs, those are only ones. Anything that uses the term all beef, that's a legal term by definition. We would think it's just two English words side by side. That's the disillusionment. It's an attempt to deceive the public. Also, most of the corn products come from the corn seeds that are supplied by Monsanto, which are genetically modified. And anybody that remembers the monarch butterflies that were dying by the millions in the middle corridor of the U.S., it was because they were drinking the nectar, which is their food, from the top of the corn plant tassels. And many of those died right on there from the poisoning. The monarch butterflies evolved to be able to drink nectar from the corn, and the monarch is dying from the Monsanto corn.
Steve,
yep. Sorry.
Steve. No, I appreciate you, Steve. So, but I'd rather talk about Mondami.
You raised the topic.
I'd rather talk about Mondami than talk about this, because when we're done here, right, I'm going to do my Superman changing outfit, run home, throw off the suit.
Let me throw out a Mondani thing as long as you're on
Okay, but
topic.
wait. Run home, throw off the suit, throw on some shorts, grill a steak real fast.
Yeah.
Kiss Beyonce the cat on the head. Kiss my wife. Kiss my son. See if the faucet's been changed. It had to be changed. Rush back for the midnight show and then do it all again. So quickly, you wanted to say something because Steve,
about Zoran the Magnificent.
But wait, honestly, Steve, listening to you, and I've said this twice this hour. Jonas, Philippe, seriously, brothers, I hope y'all got some aspirin, because I really do want to bang my head on this table listening to Steve tell me what's in hot dogs, what's in the buttered popcorn. So what can I eat, Steve? What can I eat?
All kinds of other health foods, but I'm with you on that. If this is commercial food trying to sell their product and make a profit. It's like vaccines. Anyway, you mentioned Mondani. Zoran, I want to call him, I remember changing the word POTUS to PATUS for Biden, meaning president against the United States. Let's call Zoran many damnations. Many meaning mayor against New York, MANY.
Fair enough, Steve. Thank you, Steve. I know you were helping me with love, but the moment that I sign off, I really am going to bang my head on this desk because I can't eat anything now. Jonas, you said, well, I can eat the grass because the diabetic. I can't eat fruit.
Yeah, that should be healthy.
I can have blueberries. We have Liz in Florida that sent me that very nice thing. There was a lot of good food in that package that she sent.
I remember that.
A lot of good stuff, and so now I no longer use Splendor. I now use monk fruit. So I've moved
fancy.
up. I've moved up in the world. Let's go to oh boy, we only have 25 seconds. Okay. Kevin, line 1, Westchester. Kevin, I'm sorry, you only have 15 seconds, but it's important what you want to talk about. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's the 29th anniversary of the crash of TWA Flight 800 off Long Island.
Wow. I cannot believe it's been 29 years.
Yep. NYPD Scuba did 312 dives in 4 months.
Wow.
Averaging 125 feet.
Hey, Kevin, please call back tomorrow. I want to focus on that. Folks, all it takes is $11 a month. Donate $11 a month to the Tunnel to Towers Foundation at T2T.org.